Welcome back to Overtime Fantasy, where we go beyond the whistle to bring you home a fantasy championship. I'm Mike Kinder. I'm here with Tyler Jeffries, Phil Carella, and Dan Hudgens.
Yeah.
Welcome back, fellas.
Welcome back.
Just want to start this podcast off first off by saying follow us. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Follow our YouTube. Follow everything. Our Twitter is at Fantasy Overtime. Our Facebook is at Overtime Fantasy. Our Instagram is at Overtime Fantasy. If you haven't done it yet, sign up for a best ball. If you don't know what a best ball is, hit us up on our website. We have a submit a question section on our website. We'll get to that here in a minute, but hit us up. Let us know, like, hey, I don't know what a best ball is. Let me know. Go to draft.com/OTFantasy. Draft.com/OTFantasy. Deposit $10. You'll get a $3 entry into any. It'll be a ticket to any best ball league there is. Do it. It's a lot of fun. It's a way to get into fantasy football before August, before September when the season starts. So what I was talking about with our website. You can go to our website and ask us questions. We got to submit a question section in there. Ask us a question. Phil.
Yeah,
we got some important news, don't we?
Yeah, well, we have a for your Game of Thrones guys out there. We have a three-eyed raven sending us letters with questions, and we answer them with pure, fantastic knowledge of fantasy football. Yeah.
Who did this raven bring a letter from?
Oh yeah, the letter was from Paulie Johnson.
Paulie Johnson.
Paulie Johnson sent us a letter with a raven holding the letter in its talons.
So a big shout out to Paulie Johnson. Thank you for hitting us up on the website.
www.overtimefantasy.com.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you. The question.
Wow.
The question that Paulie asked was the running back situation in Buffalo. So Buffalo is loaded with running backs, mostly veterans, and Devin Singletary. So they got LaShawn McCoy, Frank Gore, T.J. Yeldon, Devin Singletary,
Josh Allen.
And
you
Josh
can't forget
Allen,
the leading rusher from last year.
You got to mention the starting running back in Josh Allen.
Yeah, exactly.
So the question was, would you rather go with the ninth round value on LaShawn McCoy, or would you rather wait for Devin Singletary? They were questioning whether maybe Devin Singletary might take over in the mid rounds. I mean, in the mid season. Yeah. So what do you guys think?
Man, I really like Devin Singletary this year.
You love the devil?
No.
That's it.
No.
Cut it. Nope.
No, look.
Where's my cross?
I like Devin Singletary this year, man. His value, I mean, he's getting undrafted. And like Shady, I mean, he was hurt for 3 games last year, but he saw an all-time carry, low, and I don't like that. I would.
He had a total of 161 carries.
And in the ninth round, I'd rather have some other options at running back or maybe a wide receiver where I can go in the 16th round or even after the draft and pick up Devin Singletary.
It's that, and it's also the Bills. They got Josh Allen for a reason. They're going to build a team around him. The whole days of when Shady McCoy came, they're like, all right, we're going to build the offense around him, and he did. He produced. He had a couple 1,000-yard seasons, and some good turnouts. Last year was terrible. That was Josh Allen's first year. You could tell that they were throwing the ball a lot more. They were in a shotgun a lot more. It just seems like it's going to that RPO system for Josh Allen. And, they got Cole Beasley now on their team. They got Josh Brown on their team. Or John Brown, sorry. It just seems that that's the route that they're going to take. They have a good core of backs, but their offensive line is so bad that it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
Every single back, to me, is going to struggle. It's going to be against a team that has a good matchup, that has a terrible defensive front, and not that great of a linebacking core. That's when you want to plug in maybe a Buffalo Bill running back. But until then, man, I'd stay clear of all of them.
Yeah.
I kind of like Singletary just because, like what you said, he's pretty much going super late, almost undrafted.
I believe you could get him on draft. I think you could pick him up later on.
Yeah, if you're thinking about him, you'll get him in the 16th round.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Shady's kind of been he had a lot of tread on the tires. And look, I told you guys before we got on, I think Shady McCoy might get cut from the Bills just because they brought in Gore, they got Yeldon, they got Singletary, they drafted Singletary. My thing is that I wouldn't be drafting these guys and expect them to produce, immediately. Like Singletary is going to be a type of guy where you're gonna pick him late and you're just going to keep him on your bench. You don't want to drop him. It's just like a long-term project in my eyes.
You want to wait and see what happens.
And
exactly.
And that's what you do with your 16th pick most of the time anyways, is you're picking them up just in case. And you keep them around for 2-3 weeks, then you make your decision. Like, all right, is this guy worth keeping on my bench, or is he just taking up a spot where I can use a waiver on somebody?
Yeah. And you just wait till preseason, because the start of preseason is going to tell you a whole lot. And also the first week. If you have Devin Singletary on your team and the first week he has 2 carries, maybe, and he was only on the field for like 10 plays, you might want to maybe get rid of him and pick up somebody else, but at least you gave it a shot. I think McCoy, if he doesn't get cut, doesn't get traded, I think he will produce about the same numbers as he did last year, and maybe more in the passing game if he's healthy, because he can catch the ball and he's elusive out there if he gets an open space. So We'll see.
And one thing that we haven't touched yet that is very important is that Buffalo Bills offensive line. They're one of the worst in the league. Hey, did he just say that?
No,
he said that in his opening arguments.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that you need to keep an eye on. That offensive line is pretty bad.
They dropped 22 points last year.
Yeah.
In the end of the 2017 season, they were ranked number 7. Going into the 2018 year, they were still ranked number 7. At the end of last year, they dropped 22 points.
Yeah. That's what happens when your 3 veterans leave your team.
No, that's what happens when Tyrod Taylor leaves. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of would rather have Josh Allen than Tyrod Taylor.
I was joking.
All right, so
he's the joke king.
Polly, we appreciate you submitting the question. Everybody out there, submit a question. We'll email you right away as soon as we possibly can. We'll send you an email, and we may cover it on air if we have time.
Yeah, be sure to send us that 3-eyed raven.
Send us that 3-eyed raven.
Yeah, I don't get the Game of Thrones reference. I don't watch that.
It's the 3-eyed raven, mate. It's the 3-eyed raven. There's no need to understand what's going on. It's Game of Thrones, 3-eyed raven. Just get it. Say I get it.
Got it.
Nice.
So today is the start of breaking down the divisions. So we're gonna cover every team up until what's the matter?
It's the way you said it. It's like, we're gonna break down the divisions.
Can you sound a little happier?
It's like a battle royale.
I thought you were gonna break.
Sorry,
Oklahoma or something.
Sounds like the Hunger Games.
Sorry if I sound like I'm down in the dumps, Tyler.
Dun.
Been getting 3 to 4 hours of sleep at night, working 12 hours at work, coming home, I'm going out of town this weekend, so I got to get everything ready at work and get everything ready at home.
Same here.
Dude, we're called Overtime Fantasy for a reason.
That's why I'm still here. I'm still here.
Not regulation fantasy, overtime fantasy.
Overtime.
I'm here. I'm still here producing. So we got this. So we're going to break down the divisions. We're going to cover every single team in the NFL. And today we are covering the NFC North and the NFC South. Mm-hmm. So we're going to cover 8 teams. It's going to be a quick punch on each team. It's going to start with Tyler. Tyler's got the Vikings and the Panthers. So in the NFC North, he's got the Vikings. In the NFC South, he's got the Panthers. Phil has the Packers in the North, the Saints in the South. Dan has the Lions in the North, the Buccaneers in the South, and I have the Bears in the North and the Falcons in the South. I honestly let these guys choose first, and somehow I ended up with like the 2 most interesting teams. I don't know how that happened.
What? Screw you.
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad for Dan.
Why? Yeah, because he's got the Lions.
He's got the Lions and the Bucks.
You guys better be ready for 6 minutes of Matt Prater talk.
That's good. So we're going to start with Tyler. Tyler, you got the Vikings. We're going to start with the NFC North. And so Tyler, kick it off with the Vikings, man. Let's hear what you got to say.
Man, So the Vikings, like, they have Kirk Cousins at quarterback, and I really don't trust Kirk. I mean, he seems like a good fantasy quarterback, but he's always making those bonehead interception plays. And it's just not really good for a reliable fantasy quarterback option to me. But for some reason, he puts up the numbers. And then you have Dalvin Cook. And I got a little stat on Dalvin Cook that is...
Let's hear it.
It's crazy. 2014, he had a shoulder labrum tear. 2015, had a pedal ankle sprain. 2016, he had a shoulder labrum tear. 2017, he had an ACL tear, grade 3. 2018, on September 6th, he had a thigh hamstring, grade 1. September 27th, he had a hamstring strain, grade 2. So, since 2014, he's been injured every year.
That's a lot of grades, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's more grades than I could ever handle. I mean,
well, you got a grade A for giving us that stat.
I mean,
I'm going to start calling you Dr. Tyler.
And for somebody that really likes Dalvin Cook this year, seeing that stat kind of makes me want to fall back on him a little bit because since 2014, he has been injured every single year. But coming back last year, he had 615 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns and 305 yards receiving with 2 touchdowns. So about 1,000 yards, all-purpose yards with 4 touchdowns. With those 2 injuries last year, that's really not that bad. Hopefully he can stay healthy. If he stays healthy, I feel like he's going to have a really good year. But that's something to, look into when you're in the second round. Because for me, I would love to have like a Melvin Gordon, Dalvin Cook, but Dalvin Cook's just injury prone. Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen are 2 wide receivers. And everybody was talking about Stephon Diggs like he's fallen to the 3rd round this year, about how he's, had an off season last year. He put up 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns in his off season. Like, he was bad, with Adam Thielen putting up 1,300 yards and 9 touchdowns. So they're getting the stats there. They're 2 wide receivers that you should target because Adam Thielen the year prior had an amazing year too.
Who do you prefer, Thielen or Diggs?
To me, I would rather have Stephon Diggs, just because Stephon Diggs, they said he had an off season last year just because he was getting double teamed, but putting over 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns, I'd rather have him because now Adam Thielen, he's had back-to-back good years. He's going to see a lot more coverage. He could see the number 1 corner on the field now, and that's where I would love to have Stephon Diggs, especially in the 3rd round, when I can go Mike Evans in the 2nd.
I think I've seen Diggs go in some mocks slip into the 4th.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy, man, because if you think about it, these 2 receivers, you can't double cover both of them.
You could.
So, if you could, then
it won't be successful.
You can't.
Could.
Explain it.
You can't.
But you just get burnt by a tight end, I guess. I don't know.
Well, speaking
Laquan Treadwell.
Laquan Treadwell's wide open. That might be good.
Well, speaking of tight ends, they had Kyle Rudolph, but Kyle Rudolph's been getting older. He finished with 600 yards and 4 touchdowns last year, but they brought a rookie in, and this rookie's a monster from Alabama, 6'2". His name's Irv Smith Jr., and I love Irv Smith Jr. this year. And Kirk Cousins has always thrown to the tight end. So I think Irv Smith Jr., in the later rounds, you could snag him up. They run 2 tight end sets a lot with their 2 wide receivers. So you cannot double team both wide receivers because you're going to have somebody open. And that person open might be Irv Smith, especially in the red zone.
Well, let's not forget Kyle Rudolph did sign that extension.
Yeah, he just got paid.
He did get paid. Now he can.
So they didn't pay him for nothing. And I know you're just kind of excited about this new.
Well, I think
he's going
Irv
to mentor.
Smith. I think he's going to be more of lined up in the slot. I think in big packages, they might space him out, keep Kyle Rudolph with his hand in the ground, be more of like a blocker type thing.
So Tyler, is that somebody you're looking to draft, or are you just going to wait till the season and see how he does? How are you looking at him?
So right now, Irv Smith is getting undrafted. He's not being picked up. He doesn't have an ADP right now because he's just going undrafted. I'd rather have like a guy that's in another team in this division that somebody's probably going to talk about later. That's a rookie.
Who's that?
I'm not going to say because I'm sure you're going to talk about him. But
I have no idea.
Irv Smith, that's somebody you could pick up and stash because Kyle Rudolph, I mean, he's going to get touchdowns, but he fell off the last 2 years. He's fallen off. And it's not saying that he's a bad talent. There's just so many mouths to feed. He's getting older. He's getting slower, but he's a great blocking tight end, and he's really good at catching. He catches everything that's thrown to him. But I think Irv Smith, like you said, could go into the slot. He's 6'2", 240 pounds. He's got great speed, great hands. He's somebody that could be utilized in that system very well and fit in with Minnesota. And a guy that's we're talking about, Devin Singletary, you're picking him up in the 16th round, picking up Irv Smith Jr. in the 16th round, and getting that potential upside. I don't see anything wrong with that.
I'll tell you what. What about their other running back, Alexander Madison? He's the rookie from was it Boise State, I believe. Here's the thing: you talked about Dalvin Cook being injury prone, so I think he's like an intriguing person to add, just because every single year he got hurt.
Yeah,
and if he goes down, I think he can immediately step in. And then, he can contribute, not as to the efficiency of Dalvin Cook, but you're talking about someone you're drafting just like Singletary. You're getting him for free, so
yeah. Especially with the injury history of Dalvin Cook, like you said, that's a guy that you could pick up that could see a lot of carries during playoffs, during middle of the season.
So what you're saying is, if you draft Dalvin Cook, you should really handcuff him with Madison.
Yes,
you have to.
Got to handcuff him.
You have to. Yeah, I agree. And it's crazy because Dalvin Cook wasn't injury prone in college. He played through a whole bunch of injuries. He had a shoulder problem coming out of high school. He had a hamstring injury. Like every single year, he had a hamstring problem at Florida State, but he played through it. It just seems like maybe they didn't want to rush him back from the hamstring. And after tearing the ACL, it does make sense that his hamstring would be a little weak and pull because you put so much work into that knee. You got to make sure that your thigh and your hamstring and your quad is strong, so hopefully he got all that taken care of and he's good to go because man, I want to see him do well.
Yeah,
I really do.
The coaching staff has said that Dalvin Cook has come back. He's looking great. He's looking healthy. He's making strong cuts, but they also said that last year it's just something to keep an eye out, especially more with preseason coming around the corner and OTA. So it's somebody that you should really take into looking now.
Yeah.
Because if he's healthy, he's a beast. So,
well, all right. So that's all the time we got for the Vikings. Thank you, Tyler. That was good information. Phil, on to the Packers. What do you got for us, man?
All right, I got a question for you. Do you like cheese?
A little bit.
I do.
Do you like cheese, Tyler?
I love cheese.
Yeah, I like cheese. I'm
you
a
like
cheese.
Okay, cool. Because we're going to talk about the Packers here for the next 8 minutes. Okay. All right. All right. So it's going to be really simple with the quarterback position. Mr. Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I forgot.
All right.
I thought it was Matt Flynn.
The guy's only flaw in his whole game is he can't chug a beer. That's his only flaw.
Okay? That's a bad flaw,
that
too.
Guy cannot.
His only flaw, he didn't see it coming. He didn't read the coverage. There's a lot of foam in the cup. He didn't see what was going down. All right?
That's just
that
terrible.
Being said, Aaron Rodgers should be drafted between the first three quarterbacks in the draft this year.
I agree.
Okay? It's simple. He's Aaron Rodgers. Moving on. It gets pretty easier after that, too, with Devontae Adams. All right, these are guys that you're going to want to just quick to easy targets within the first two rounds. Devontae Adams is a guy that you want to target and see. If he falls to you in the second round, get him. Easy. Done. Aaron Rodgers, I wouldn't be so high on him going in the fourth if I don't have my whole package going on. But like I said in recent podcasts, that drafting a quarterback in a certain round is a preference thing. To me, I want to have my core players first before I draft a quarterback. And if I have a core group together within 4 rounds, the 5th round, I will be eyeing Aaron Rodgers. Okay?
I agree. I like that.
If I have it, because I'm really high on Drew Brees, but we're getting on that later. All right. Anyways, on to another guy that I like this year in Jimmy Graham. Everybody understands Jimmy Graham didn't have a great year last year. All right, it was a new system, new offense, new connection with Aaron Rodgers, blah blah blah. They fired the coach. They got a new coach in that likes to run the outside zone scheme. All right, which sets up a lot of play action. Tight ends are killers with play action boots. So in Aaron Rodgers, he can make things happen. I see Jimmy Graham having a huge bounce back year. And he's going to be one of those sneaky in the top 7 finishes for tight ends, I would say. Yeah, so I like Jimmy Graham this year. I think you can get him at a pretty decent price range in the draft. And you don't have to spend, You don't have to jump on him super early because I think other tight ends are going to go before him. But I think after round 10, he'll be gone.
You think that early?
I think after round 10 is around when he should be going. Put it that way.
Okay.
That's when I'll be targeting him if he's available.
Okay.
In round 10. All right. Going on to the guy that I'm not crazy about, which he's kind of high on a lot of people's draft boards, which is Aaron Jones. This guy, he finished strong last year. He did. He had a solid end of the year. Let's put it that way. There's been a lot of talk about him like bulking up and, getting ready to take the bulk of the carries this year. And like I talked about, the Packers this new coach they have likes to do the outside zone scheme, which is great for him. He has that one cut, burst, go type of running style anyway, so it's really beneficial for him. But he's gonna get banged up, and can he take the load like that? Like to me, it seems like he's a Dalvin Cook in a way. It just he misses 4 games a year, 5 games a year. That for his first 2 years, that's what he's done so far. And they have this other running back that I like in Dexter Williams. Watch this guy. He's a sleeper from Notre Dame. They drafted him in the late rounds. He's explosive. He's physical. He's fast, and he is explosive. So be on the watch. I know Jamal Williams is out there. He's the backup, but watch this kid. I think he's going to do a lot of things with his touches in the preseason, and he's very durable and he's explosive. So be on the look for him. I'm going to keep it simple with that. The Packers, it's done. It's simple. Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Jimmy Graham, and Aaron Jones. Those are the guys you want to be looking for. But sleeper picks is Dexter Williams, and I like Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Scantling, whatever his name is.
MVS.
MVS, all right?
MVS.
They say he's the number 2 wide receiver right now. He's very fast, physical. He has a really good catch radius. He can be that other option for Aaron Rodgers this year. Take some, I guess, notoriety away from Devontae Adams a little bit. Keep him honest. I like him going as a sleeper pick. I do.
It's crazy how 1 year can make such a big difference. How Geronimo Allison was the one everyone was talking about last year.
Yeah.
Nobody heard of Valdez-Scantling.
Because you look at him as far as his player attributes, he's a physical specimen. I mean, this dude's a beast.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
he's a big guy.
And he's good, too. He's really good, but there's just that connection with Aaron Rodgers that Valdez-Scantling has that Allison don't have.
Right.
So, yeah, I do like Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Envious.
MVS.
Very envious of him.
I actually don't like Geronimo Allison this year. I don't know how you feel about him because I feel like he could fall into the 4th wide receiver. I mean, you got Equanimous St. Brown there. I mean, I know that's somebody you're not going to target, but people that are like, oh, Geronimo Allison's here in the 15th, let me snag him. He's somebody that could fall to the 4th round, like 4th wide receiver in that system.
See, I think
Because St. Brown's really talented, too. He had
showed
flashes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that Geronimo Allison's going to be like a filler pick. He's going to be one of those guys that you pick up during the week if MVS goes down or there's a Jimmy Graham gets banged up or something happens to their main core of guys where they have to implement some more passes into the system, and Geronimo Allison will be that guy that gets a lot of looks and targets and shit that week. So
now let me ask you a question.
Ask it.
Who led the league last year in yards per carry?
I'm assuming that's Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones. He was over 5 yards a carry last year.
And how many times did he rush for over 17 carries in a game?
It was not that many,
Exactly.
I think. But just like you said,
this is what I'm saying. Last year, he did not produce over 17 carries in a game.
Wow.
yeah. But
This is
new
a
coaching staff,
pass-heavy-
new coaching staff.
But that coach got fired halfway through the season. The new coach was the offensive coordinator, wasn't he?
Peter LaFleur.
LaFleur.
Matt
LaFleur. I just had to throw in that dodgeball.
All I'm saying is
reference.
that with Aaron Jones, I think that it's going to be kind of a running back by committee type thing. Whoever's hot at the moment will get the carries.
I got you.
Aaron Jones, don't get me wrong, he could have a great year. I mean, just for where he's going for his ADP, I don't think it's worth it. I think you have better guys out there. Like there's Devontae Freeman who's getting drafted around there. Who was a Sony Michel is getting drafted around where he's being taken. I'm like, to me, that just makes more sense than a guy that we don't know how many carries he's going to get.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is going to throw the ball at least 40 times a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what it seems like anyway. It seems like every single play you watch the Packers offense, they're throwing the ball.
Yeah, it was definitely blowing my mind that Aaron Jones is getting drafted that high around Leonard Fournette, Sony Michel, Philip Lindsay, Devontae Freeman. I mean, I would rather have all those guys other than Aaron Jones because, like you said, he seems like he's always missing 4 to 5 games. Jamal Williams comes in there randomly at halftime, stays in there, blows up, then he starts the game next week. But Dexter Williams is a guy that could come in and steal all those carries, and then you're missing out on that 4th-round draft pick.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so moving on, Dan, how about you tell us a little bit about the Lions?
All right, they're from Detroit.
Okay, so moving
blue
on.
Jerseys. I'm trying to find some interesting things about them.
Some blue jerseys.
Yeah.
They used to have this guy by the name of Barry Sanders.
They got the longest field goal kicker.
Let's see, does Megatron still play for him? No?
No, not at all.
I think he's still in the heart of the
I might
Lions.
draft him still.
Yeah,
Well,
just draft him.
Pick him
Okay,
up.
so let's start with Stafford. He was pretty much like a staple in like fantasy football for excluding last year, from 2011 to about 2016-17. He was getting 4,000 yards every year. Touchdowns was close to 30, and he was somebody that you could pretty much count on.
Calvin Johnson had 3,000
I was about to
yards
say, I
receiving.
would have. I was almost going to say I would have gotten close to 4,000 yards with Megatron on my team. You could just close your eyes and chuck that up, and his catch radius was about as. It was about the football field.
He jumped out the gym for sure.
But I think Matthew Stafford's best season was the year after Megatron left.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, I think it was like 2011. He actually had a year where it's like over 40 touchdowns. It was a monster year.
I think I'm talking about yardage wise.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you might be right. So actually, looking at Stafford last year, if you look at his first 7 games, he threw for more than 2 touchdowns in 6 of those 7 games.
And people don't realize that he had a back injury the entire season.
He played with a broken back.
Yeah.
But let's just say this: like, I'm probably not going to be targeting Stafford. I don't think anybody should be. He's going outside of the top 20 quarterbacks. The quarterback class we talk about all the time, it's super deep. Mm-hmm. So if you're picking someone like Stafford, you better be playing in 2 quarterback leagues, or you're playing in like a super flex league. Outside of that, if it's 1 quarterback, I mean, unless you're a Lions fan and you have faith in him, go ahead. But it's not for me. It's not going to be for any of us.
All right. Shout out Jay Hudgens, man.
He could easily be somebody that you pick up 3 games into the season, and just because he's back,
Yeah.
But as of right now, no.
And remember, so Galladay and Marvin Jones got hurt. They traded away Golden Tate. He had nobody to throw to last year, so he will be a solid streamer in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he will.
So all right,
surely in FanDuel too. So
Galladay and Marvin Jones. So Galladay is going about the late 4th, early 5th. He wasn't really the starter that much last year, and he topped 1,000 yards. He only had 5 touchdowns. So if he's the primary target for Matt Stafford, I'm assuming that the Lions are going to be behind in a lot of games. Stafford could potentially be throwing the ball. He's going to be a red zone threat. He's going to be somebody that I consider him a guy that could go up and get the ball, a good contested catch guy. So he's going to be somebody I am targeting. I'm not going to overpay for him, though. I think his price right now is good.
Mm-hmm.
You have Marvin Jones. I think he has some sleeper appeal. He's going outside the top 36 wide receivers in the 9th round. The year that he was healthy, he put up 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns. So, I mean, you're talking, if you get somebody like that in the 9th round, I mean, that is good value. You get guys like that in the 5th, 6th round. He missed the final 7 games. He's coming off injury. He's another year older, obviously. But I don't know how y'all feel about it. I'm targeting someone like Marvin Jones pretty much your number 4 wide receiver. If your number 4 wide receiver can potentially get 1,000 yards.
Yeah, he makes some crazy catches. I mean, just throw it up to him. He's going to make some stuff happen. I mean, he has great athleticism. He has really good hands. He's explosive. He's quick off the ball. I mean, he's somebody that I will definitely be targeting in the later rounds if he's available, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So other wide receiver, I think it's Amendola. He signed with the Lions. You know, if you play in a PPR really late, if you're standard league, don't even think about drafting him unless you think he's going to be Golden Tate, which I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Moving on. You got Kerryon Johnson, running back. I think this guy has breakout potential. Going through his game logs last year, really efficient carrying the ball. Right now he's going in. I've seen some mocks where he goes into the 4th round, and if that's the case, I think you can potentially have a guy that could finish in the top 12 by the end of the year if he stays healthy. So, looking at his games before he got injured, his last 3 games, he was averaging 17 touches a game. That was with LeGarrette Blount pretty much being the starter. So, if he is getting that or more than that, I mean, I think he's going to produce. I think he's going to be a very good pick if you're picking someone that can get that type of volume in the 4th round.
Yeah, definitely. That was the only problem with Kerryon Johnson last year. Is every time they got to the red zone or to the goal line, you were missing out on those red zone opportunities because they would just throw LeGarrette Blount in there.
Now you liked Kerryon Johnson last year.
Love Kerryon.
Now, I said last year, I said, you know what, the Lions, the past 8 years, they were pretty much 60% pass, 40% run. Where last year and probably going forward with Matt Patricia, they're going to be a run-first team, or at least they're going to try to do that. So that is a good sign for Kerryon.
Yeah.
Now, was that the coach, or was that more of the injury to the wide receivers
I
and
think
the injury to Matt Stafford?
I think it was the coaches.
Okay.
yeah, the coach.
Well, they ran a lot more. I don't know. I don't know exactly the splits from the first 7 or 8 games, or after all the injuries and all that. But
just think where Matt Patricia came from. Matt Patricia was a Patriots coach, and he probably developed some of that game plan and the strategy from Bill Belichick, who does run the ball more than pass.
All right, so C.J. Anderson, I'm treating him handcuff only. Late, if you want to go get him, go ahead. I'm not going to target him. Then you got T.J. Hawkinson. He is the rookie tight end that Tyler likes, obviously. He's going right at tight end 13, about the 11th or 12th round. In my opinion, I'm not going to target the rookie tight ends, only because I looked up a stat. Since 2000, only 5 rookie tight ends finished inside the top 10.
Gronk,
since the year 2000.
Gronk.
I don't think he's a rookie for 5 years, but
All 5 of those things were him.
So in my opinion, it's just like the rookie tight ends. How much upside do they really have?
I think you make it 6 this year because T.J. Hawkinson's going to probably finish in the top 7. Send it.
It's a possibility. It's not my cup of tea. I'd rather have Jimmy Graham, the guy that you talked about. I think he's going to bounce back. Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about that?
I wouldn't mind having him as a backup tight end, for sure. I mean, let's put it this way. That's trade bait right there, too. For somebody who you pick up as your second tight end who starts producing throughout the year and he's on your bench, that's trade bait. So I see taking somebody like Jimmy Graham first, for sure. And then in the later rounds, if he's available, pick him up.
And I'll trade Hawkinson to the waivers.
There you go.
Personally,
to the waivers.
Me personally, in the later rounds, I wouldn't want to pick up a possible trade bait tight end. I'd rather pick up somebody that, one of those wide receiver running back that can kind of take over the job. One of them guys we talked about earlier about, getting for free in the 16th round.
Right, but Jimmy Graham could be your trade bait.
Yeah.
Because T.J. Hawkinson could be producing like crazy.
Me personally, I don't pick up anybody to possibly. Oh well, if this guy does good, I could trade. Mm-hmm. That's just not my. That's kind of Tyler's style. Tyler loves to pick up people and think about a trade immediately.
Yeah, like I'm in the position of if you're on my team, I don't want to give you away.
Right. Yeah.
Because I don't want to help out anybody else.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm sorry. It's just, yeah.
All right, so did you have anything else with the Lions, or are you all done? You kind of got under your time here, Dan.
I know. I literally have nothing else to say about the Lions, except I didn't even talk about Matt Prater.
That's what I was about to say. He didn't even get to Matt Prater.
Maybe next time.
All right. So moving on, I have the Bears in the NFC North. Just touching on them quickly. Mitch Trubisky, quarterback. Dan Hudgens, love. That's his man crush.
He's giving the old Breakfast Club fist pump right now.
I heart him.
He's going at the end of the 10th round. He's actually, his ADP shows 10-12. 100% of the time you're taking him there?
I'm definitely targeting him.
So 100% of the time, Dan takes him at the end of the 10th round.
Yeah, obviously it depends on the roster construction. You know what I mean? If I have someone like Mahomes, Luck, Rodgers, I'm not going to pick a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
What?
Where's the sound at?
Yeah, so Trubisky, he's a very solid quarterback going in the late rounds. He's right around there, around Phillip Rivers, all them. Like there's a ton back there. So he's not somebody that I'm itching to get, but if he falls to me, and I do like Rivers a little bit more. I like a few of those other quarterbacks a little bit more, but if I have to, I'll take Trubisky. And I'll be happy with it too. I'm not going to be upset with it. Mike Davis, Tariq Cohen, and David Montgomery in the backfield. Tariq Cohen's going in the 5th round. David Montgomery's going in the 8th round, and Mike Davis is going in the 11th round. So out of those three, give me Mike Davis. Honestly,
wow,
just for the fact of you're getting him the latest. You really don't know. It's a toss up. I don't like Tariq Cohen where he's going. I like Tariq Cohen. I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be good. But not in the 5th round for me. I don't like having him as my possible 2nd or 3rd running back. I would rather somebody else where I can get Mike Davis as like my 4th or 5th running back at that point. And he could. You never know what his role is going to be yet. He could be the ground and pound go-to guy, and Tariq Cohen could be the change of pace. I hate you, Dan. So on to the receivers. You got Allen Robinson, Taylor Gabriel, Anthony Miller. You also got the rookie and Riley Ridley, and you got they even have Cordell Patterson, who what was it, like 3 years ago he was with Minnesota, 3 or 4 years ago, and he was just like the fastest thing on the field, and
he was getting drafted like the 4th round.
Yeah. He was a good FanDuel wide receiver last year with the Patriots. Like, because all of a sudden he just get a touchdown.
Well, he turned into their running back.
That was crazy. So
they're like, all of our running backs hurt. Oh, we know.
That's enough talking about Cordell Patterson. You're not drafting him.
Nope.
Riley Ridley, he might be a late round. I really like his talent. He's a good sleeper that you can get real late in the draft. Anthony Miller's going in the 13th round. I like him. He's going at the back end of the 13th round. Allen Robinson is going in the 6th round. That's not bad for him. It's at the end of the 6th round. I don't hate where he's going because he is a good wide receiver. Last year I had him in the first half of the year. He did really good things for me, and then he kind of slowly fell off at the end of the year. But I like him in the 6th round. If he's there, I'll look at him. I'll think about it. Anthony Miller, I like his value a little bit better. What? I like Anthony Miller's value 7 rounds later a little bit better than Allen Robinson's. Trey Burton, tight end. He's going in the 11th round.
Bill's boy, baby.
Yeah, I won't touch Trey Burton.
Only because he went to Florida. That's why.
Oh, is that? I didn't know he went to Florida. That's why.
Oh, did he?
We are all like just completely not understanding why I don't like him. Because where he gets drafted, it's like, oh my god, Trey Burton's so good. It's like, bro, what's so good about him?
He's getting drafted in around 13 this year.
Okay, that's exactly where he needs to be drafted. Don't draft him in the first 5 rounds. That's all I'm saying. Next, move on. I never said he was a terrible tight end. I said he was terrible for that pick.
So
please proceed.
Then just moving on to their defense. They're the number 1 defense.
Oh.
They will not be on my team. They're going in the 9th round, at the end of the 9th round.
Wow.
Not never.
Not never.
Not never. They won't be on any of my teams.
Wait,
I'll
so
never.
if you say not never, that's a double negative.
Yeah,
That's how negative they'll be on my roster.
So not never.
Not never gonna happen.
Not never happening.
That's an old football inside thing with
Yeah.
Who was it that always said that? Was that Coach Chester?
I don't remember.
Not never.
Oh, yeah. That might be Coach Wilson.
It might have been Coach Wilson. But yeah, so 9th round, not gonna happen. One thing to note with the Bears, they are like on some websites they're currently ranked 5th in the offensive line. So pay attention to that. It's not so much for run blocking; it's more for keeping the quarterback upright, which is a good thing for Mitchell Trubisky. You know, being a young quarterback in there. You know, third year?
Third year.
Thank you. So 3rd-year quarterback in there, to be able to keep him upright, to give him that confidence he needs, that's a good thing for him. So that's a big uptick in Mitchell Trubisky. You know, and it's not, like I said, it's not so much for the run blocking, but it's more for keeping that quarterback upright. And that's all I got to say about that.
Way to go, Forrest. That was sick.
I'm telling you right now, you pretty much name. You look at their roster. It's not like superstars loaded, but solid running backs, solid receivers. You just talked about the line. Like that is why I'm targeting Mitch Trubisky, because the weapons are around him, and you got a second year in Matt Nagy's system.
No, this is going to be his 3rd year in the system.
Well, in Matt Nagy's.
This is his third going into his 3rd
John
year.
Fox was the. Remember, Fox had him. He drafted him.
Yeah,
traded up, and then he got fired.
Fox was his rookie head coach.
Huh. Okay.
Trust
that
me.
makes
Hey,
sense
I
why he
heart
wasn't that
Mitch.
good. I'm sorry.
there.
I didn't mean to question your Mitchness.
That's his Mitch.
That's his Mitchie.
All right, so moving on, Tyler, moving on to the South, the NFC South. Tyler has the Panthers. Let's hear it.
All right, so their quarterback is Cam Newton. Now, Cam Newton, you usually just go ahead and have to blow past him. There's really no news about him, but he had a shoulder injury. And the shoulder injury, he said he was really scared of. Now he's feeling good. He said he's back 100%, but even if he's not, there's a rookie quarterback that they brought in that I think is going to get the start over Taylor Heineke as the second string, which is Will Grier. Which I think if Cam Newton has to miss any time, which I don't think he will, because I think he's 100% ready to go, I think Will Grier can go ahead and get some business done for that team, so you're not going to miss that step like you worried about last year with your wide receivers.
Dude, I'm really excited to see him in the preseason. I really am.
Yeah.
Greer.
Yeah.
I want to see Will Greer in the preseason.
I've always been a fan
He's a
of Will
mountain
Grier.
man.
Yeah. I like him.
He's like a little wildebeest out there. All right, continue.
So, with Cam Newton, fearing about his injury and having all that, horrible luck with that, I really think he's going to stop scrambling as much, and I think he's going to stop trying to rush the ball as much so he doesn't try to take those hits. And that will help out the next guy, which is a running back, Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey is probably going to be their number one option, rushing and receiving. With Devin Funchess leaving, going to the Colts, I really think that Christian McCaffrey is going to be the guy. And their number one receiver now is going to be DJ Moore. DJ Moore should have a great year. I really liked DJ Moore last year. And I really think he's going to have a really good... He's going to be the number one guy. Torrey Smith's there. He's 30 years old now. That's all you got to say about Torrey Smith. I really wouldn't target him. And another guy... The only other wide receiver I would target from the Panthers is Curtis Samuel. He's fast, and they're just young. I mean, they got a really young core around them. Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen's getting really old, but he is Cam Newton's favorite target, it feels like. I really hope that he stays healthy this year because I feel like his years are really limited now. But if he's hurt, there's a guy that you should look at getting, which is Ian Thomas. Ian Thomas is a really good young tight end. And I don't know what it is about the Panthers, but it seems like they use the tight ends a lot too. But I really like their offensive line this year. They went ahead and got Greg Little from Ole Miss. I really like Greg Little. They got Matt Partis. He was the center for the Broncos last year. They have Trey Turner. I mean, they have a really good offensive line with good, fast, young guys around them. I really think the Panthers could have a great year. I usually don't target Cam Newton, but targeting Cam Newton this year, you're probably going to be able to get him in the 9th to 11th round. So, I mean, that's really good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even later. You never know.
That's really good upside and value for a guy like Cam Newton, if he's 100% healthy, is going to be a top 8 quarterback, top 9 quarterback. So, that's all I got for the Panthers.
I tell you what.
You just reminded me about how much they're going to whoop on the Bucks this year, so thanks. Appreciate it.
No, they're not.
Hold on. Wasn't done.
Okay.
But seriously, they're going to make us walk the plank, and it's our own ship. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm telling you what, Cam Newton, like, when I did my quarterback rankings, I'm pretty sure he was like either number 5 or number 6 for me. And I remember y'all didn't even have him in the top 10.
Well,
any of you guys in the league.
that came after we were given a little bit more information about his shoulder injury. Like, it came out that he was 100% ready to throw about 3 weeks ago. So after they told me that, I said, wow, okay, maybe he's ahead of schedule and things are looking good. So I think I even told Kinder after they said that, I said, I think he's going to be one of the top. I think he's going to make my top 10 this year.
Yeah.
Because to me, he just seems like Tyler said, he's going to be more like aware of taking all these hits and, running and diving head first. I just don't see it happen anymore.
Yeah, I mean, they built that offensive line for him to stop taking all those hits. So stay behind that offensive line. I really think their left tackle right now is Taylor Moton, but I really do think Greg Little's going to get the start over there. And, I mean, Taylor Moton's no slouch, but I really like Cam Newton this year. I don't know what it is. And I had him, I think, preseason rankings, he was around 13 or 14 for me, just because it was the questioning of the shoulder injury. But Cam Newton, man, I mean, he's a guy that has really good potential.
Even with him, just like you said, if he doesn't rush the ball that much, he still has the upside to get 6 to 8 rushing touchdowns. Mm-hmm. That alone is going to get you pretty much somewhere close to the top 10, regardless of your passing stats. So if I were to say if he gets 500 yards rushing and 6 rushing touchdowns, that's so much value, and it's going to be interesting to see how he comes off this shoulder surgery. You talked about the receivers. I like the receivers a lot, and we all know McCaffrey. I mean, McCaffrey's a beast.
Mm-hmm.
We all know he is the guy. I mean, he can carry the workload. He's on the field pretty much every single play. He does not come off the field on offense.
Uh-huh.
All right. So did you have anything else with the Panthers there, Tyler?
No, other than I heard Christian McCaffrey's getting a surprise drug test in a couple days.
All right. So moving on, Phil, you got the Saints.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Well, this is going to really take no time. I mean, the Saints have serious weapons out there. We'll start with the quarterback, Drew Brees. All right. Drew Brees is my number 1 quarterback for where I can get him for. I think I can get Drew Brees in the later rounds and be able to build up my team and still come out with a very solid quarterback who does nothing but just produce every single year. I mean, him and Sean Payton, you got 2 coaches. You got 2 head coaches right there, Drew Brees and Sean Payton. I mean, he calls the plays, and Drew Brees says, okay, well, what about this, and this, and this? And Sean Payton's like, all right, we'll go with what you get, whatever you just said, we'll go with. I mean, you have a head coach on the field at quarterback. I mean, the last 5 years, let's go with the touchdowns, okay?
Do it.
2018, 32 touchdowns. 17, 23 touchdowns. In 16, 37 touchdowns. 15, 32. And in 14, he had 33. He's always there. Consistent numbers, yardage, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 4,000, 4,000. The guy just does nothing but throw darts all over the field. Solid quarterback in a good round to get him.
Why is he going so late?
Because people are thinking that they're switching their offense into a run first offense. Alvin Kamara didn't have a 1,000 yards rushing last year. He only had 800 yards rushing.
Yeah, but he was also splitting a lot with Mark Ingram.
Okay?
And Mark Ingram's not there anymore.
Right. So, and then he had majority of his yards came with the passing game too.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara is going to be on the field 3 downs out of 4. So, all I know is that Drew Brees will make the best of his passes, especially when you have a target like my next subject, Michael Thomas. No wide receiver in the league has done what he's done in the first 3 seasons of a career.
I know what it is.
Over 1,000 yards receiving in the first 3 years of his career.
You know what I was going to say? I was going to say give Overtime Fantasy a shout-out.
Or
a retweet.
Well, then there's that. This guy, his catch radius is crazy. He makes all kinds of spectacular catches out there. He's, like I said before in some of the podcasts, he's fast, physical, and he's pissed off whenever he gets the ball in his hands. So he's right now my number 3 target behind Julio and DeAndre Hopkins. But the more I research on him and the more I just see where Drew Brees goes with the ball, it just makes me want to pick up Michael Thomas before any of them. But DeAndre Hopkins is my number 1. That's clear cut. But Michael Thomas could jump Julio for sure. It's just, and you couldn't go wrong with either of those picks. So
I agree.
Those are 2 players that I will be targeting if they're available for sure. Michael Thomas. If DeAndre Hopkins goes, y'all know exactly where I'm going. All right, so Michael Thomas is done. Let's talk about Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara, the last few years, been number in the top 5 every single year for in the running backs. In all-purpose yards, the wide receiver and running back. I mean, he's like a McCaffrey. He catches the ball, he runs the ball, and he's on the field all the time. He's a player that you want to target for fantasy football. This is the type of players you want on your team. All right, I'm just going to leave it at that. I think he'll have well over 100 rushing attempts, and he'll have way over 80 receptions this year. All right.
I like it.
And let's talk about a sleeper pick of mine coming in. It's not really much of a sleeper pick, but it's a guy that they just picked up in Jared Cook. He's coming off a great couple years with the Raiders. I know he started out with the Rams and had a mediocre-ish career there, never went over 600 yards receiving. He had injury prone. But when he got with the Raiders, he became more of a physical specimen. I mean, he's out there, he's making plays, he's fast. He's a lot faster than people are giving him credit for. A one-on-one coverage, I like that pick every single time. He's like 6'5", 6'6", it seems like. I think he's going to be used as Jimmy Graham was when he was there. I see a lot of packages coming up in the red zone for him. A lot of, if they start going heavy on Michael Thomas, I think Jared Cook, a one-on-one option, is a great way to go, and I think that's what they're going to start doing. Yeah, that's basically all I got for the Saints. I mean, it's those 4 key guys that I like, and that's about it. And you got to think, too, their division. I mean, the division that they're in, they have the best defense in that division.
Yeah.
The best secondary, at least. So with those guys being covered by, rookie linebackers like the Bucs have, and you got 2 top linebackers with the Panthers, but other than that, I mean, I just like the matchups that these guys are going to be given with that division.
I think the reason that Drew Brees is falling so low, it's because everybody remembers when Peyton Manning turned 40 and they just got burned from him because they were picking up in the 6th, 7th round. And that was the year they won the Super Bowl, but Peyton Manning was, a non-X factor.
Yeah.
So I think that's a bad habit for all fantasy owners to get into because they do it with Tom Brady. Tom Brady is almost not getting drafted, and Drew Brees is falling into the 9th, 10th, 11th round when these guys are putting up numbers every single year. So
yeah, but I mean, Peyton Manning's situation was a little different. He had 3 neck surgeries, and his throwing strength was going. But Drew Brees hasn't lost a step, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah. So all right, so that's all we have for the Saints. Moving on to the Buccaneers. Dan,
Here we
take
go.
it away.
All right, Jameis, your boy. Franchise quarterback, Jameis. You want to go ahead, Phil?
Yeah, I'll take it.
I'll talk about his fantasy outlook. He's
Thanks.
gonna be a stud this year. He's getting drafted outside their top 12 quarterbacks in the 10th round. I mean, look, he's gonna put up a good amount of yardage. I mean, upside of 30 plus touchdowns if he stays healthy. If they don't sign Ryan Fitzpatrick back.
If
they don't
he
get
doesn't get in
Dirk
trouble.
Cutter back.
Now, James Winston's somebody I end up with on just about every one of my mock drafts. It seems like he's there. You're drafting, and you're like, all right, it's about time to draft a quarterback, and you look at him and you're like, oh, James Winston's like six spots down. I can go another round until I can get this running back. I can get this receiver before I do that, and like he's just kind of reliable, rested down there at the end of the draft.
Yeah, I mean the potential shootouts. I mean, it's like a fantasy dream. Like they're going to put up points. They got the weapons, and I will begin with Mike Evans. I mean, this guy is going in the second round, and I mean deservingly so. If there wasn't, the guys like Hopkins and Thomas and Julio, this guy's probably going in the first round. Looking up his career, he has pretty much 140 targets in almost every single year besides his rookie year. And when you get your wide receiver one, you want to chase those targets. You get someone like that, you know for a fact that they're going to feed him the ball. He's going to be pretty much part of the game plan every single week. The only way he finishes outside the top 12 is if he gets hurt. So you pick Mike Evans, you are going to be in good shape.
Yeah, and there's one thing about him that I will say is that he is reliable when it comes to being healthy. I mean, I've never really seen him out of a game.
True,
He's just always there. So,
all right.
the only one the Bucks have.
My boy Chris
Besides
Godwin.
him. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
This is my guy. He's pretty much. I'm telling you.
I know.
Oh man, I loved him last year. Man.
Who'd you say?
Chris
Godwin. 5th round. So its price is probably. I don't know if it stays there or if it goes up.
Is that a little high for him?
I think so, but
who's going drafted around him?
I think it's guys like Mike Williams, maybe someone like Kenny Galladay. Who else? I don't have the list in front of me. Sammy Watkins is probably going somewhere in that range. Mike is pulling it up now.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what, when he started, when Deshaun Jackson was out, there was pretty much 2 games where he pretty much won you the week.
Yeah, he balled out.
Yeah, there was one week where he had like 13 targets and 1 catch for 13 yards against the Saints. I can't even remember if there was ever a game like that for a receiver to get that many targets.
All right, so just real fast, he's ADP 54 going around him. At 48, Robert Woods, then Tyler Lockett, Cooper Kupp, Chris Godwin, Calvin Ridley, Sammy Watkins, DJ Moore, and so on.
Man.
Yeah, so
out of those guys, you still feel comfortable taking him?
I'm definitely. I mean, Robert Woods. You got to put Robert Woods over Chris Godwin. I think Robert Woods is the number one. And
Jarvis Landry's going almost two rounds later.
That's something we'll talk about later. That's crazy, but all right. But don't get me wrong, Dan, I like Chris Godwin this year. I think he's going to show out.
So here's the thing. He only started 5 games last year. Mm-hmm. Pretty much when their receivers were healthy, he did not really see the field that much. It wasn't even half the time. He finished with 800-plus yards and 8 touchdowns. His upside is 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. That's what I'm thinking. Will he get that? It's
possible.
It's possible. I'm not saying he will, but that is pretty much the upside you get when you pick someone like him. And honestly, I wouldn't mind having both Chris Godwin and Mike Evans on the team. I'm not going to chase them, but if I pick Mike Evans and Chris Godwin's there where I feel comfortable, I mean, it's a good value, I'm not going to be shy about pulling the trigger.
And it's like you said, because they're going to be chasing, they're going to be coming from behind in a lot of games. So that means a lot of passing yards. So I agree.
And before I pivot off him, this guy is like 6'2", runs a 4.4. I mean, just a physical guy, red zone threat. I mean, obviously you have Mike Evans. He has a chemistry with Jameis. I mean, I like him. So, besides that, moving on, you got your running backs. Sexy picks. Peyton Barber and Ronald Jones. Oh, yeah. Tell you what, man. For real, though, here's the thing.
Am I the only one that threw up in my mouth?
Here's the thing. They're pretty much flirting like RB40. So
let's put it this way: the Bucks do not plan on running the football out this year.
Yeah. So around 9th round is where both of them are pretty much going. And I mean, you can make a case for either of them. I personally I'm gonna target Ronald Jones. I know earlier in the podcast we talked about LaShawn McCoy going to the 9th. I'd rather have Ronald Jones, just because it's a new coaching staff. I mean, I need to see what he does in the preseason, though. I mean, he was awful last year. He averaged like 1 yard a carry, which was terrible. Peyton Barber was like 3 yards a carry. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with Peyton Barber. You know how many carries he had last year?
Not a lot.
8.
You think? No, not Ronald Jones. I mean Peyton Barber. Peyton Barber.
What, like 60?
He had more carries than Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, wow.
More than James Conner.
Really?
More than Derrick Henry. So he was like top 10 in carries.
But he had less yards than Jalen Richard.
He had less yards than everybody. That's the thing. So
Yeah.
Except for that one game. Who picked him? Blake. Blake picked him up, and Peyton Barber had like a monster game, dude. Like one monster game. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, Blake of all people.
Yeah. Freaking Blake, man.
All right, moving on.
Anyways. Okay, so just to finish up with them. Whoever, I mean, think about it. Ronald Jones last year actually was hurt. He came kind of midway through the year. He was bad in the preseason, got hurt, came midway through the year. Really he wasn't even active until like week 12. So I'm just banking on that being just like an off year. I mean, drafting someone like that in the 9th round, if it doesn't work out, cut him. Move on. O.J. Howard, tight end. This dude I think he's going to be a monster this year. Jameis, he's always had a connection with the tight ends. It was Cameron Brate early on in his career. I think Brate is just done. O.J. Howard I think he's going to take that step up into that top tier with guys like Kittle and Ertz and Kelsey, obviously. He's going in the 5th round. And if you look at his stats, I mean, this guy was probably one of the most consistent tight ends last year. He was getting pretty much 60 yards every game. For the 7 games he played, I believe it was 7 games, or I think it was 10 games. For the 10 games, he had a touchdown, which is awesome for a tight end. Yeah, so that's all I got. That's all I got. I mean, this is going to be an interesting team. I think I'm going to target all of these guys. So.
It's smart because the defense is going to be terrible.
Yeah.
So, like Dan
Playing
said,
from behind
said the best thing that we could get, the best advice that I've heard in a long time was you want to have guys on your team that are going to be coming from behind in every single week.
And what's gonna happen? You're gonna be frustrated. You're gonna be mad. You're gonna look at somebody like Jameis Winston, and you're gonna be like, "Man, it's the 3rd quarter. He's got me 6 points right now. This sucks." Then all of a sudden,
he'll give you 27.
You're gonna be at the end of the game with close to 30 points.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna be in the 1st quarter and he's already thrown 2 interceptions. And you're like, "Why did I ever draft him?" Then at the end of the game, you're going to have over 20 points. You're going to be like, holy cow, like, he does it every week. That's what he does. That's how it works.
Well, like you said, so you said they're going to be playing from behind a lot. Why would you want to draft Ronald Jones then if they're going to be playing from behind a lot? Because they're going to be passing, not running the ball.
Because the first half of those games, they're going to be running the ball.
Yeah.
And he might get a touchdown.
The reports, I mean, he's looked good so far in the mini camps. And look, I mean, if he comes out this preseason and starts sucking again, then it's like, okay, well, obviously we're not going to target him. But if he comes out and he shows some promise, why not take a flyer if he's there in the 9th round?
I mean, because he could potentially be the number 1 running back for that team. So, I mean, that's good to have on your fantasy team. So,
all right, so moving on.
I guess.
To wrap it up, I have the Falcons. To start off talking about the Falcons, I got to talk about the offensive line.
Do it.
Their offensive line is like, in a couple websites that I've seen, they've been ranked right in the middle of the pack. And in my opinion, that is wrong. Like, that is just not right. They need to be, they're one of the top offensive line. And here's the reason why they're ranking them in the middle of the pack. They have 2 rookie offensive linemen. But where did they get those 2 rookie offensive linemen? In the 1st round. Both of them. So, this year, the Falcons are doing something that I don't, honestly, off the top of my head, I don't think has ever been done in the NFL. They have a 1st round pick in every position on the offensive line.
Wow.
Let me break this down. Jake Matthews was the 6th pick in the 2014 draft by the Atlanta Falcons. James Carpenter was the 25th pick in the 2011 draft by the Seattle Seahawks. Alex Mack, in my opinion, one of the best centers in the league, and if he's not number one, he's in the top 3. And here's the thing: your center is your most important asset on that offensive line, and for him to be as good as he is, he's one of the top paid. They pay him. He's one of the best. He was the 21st pick in the 2009 draft by the Cleveland Browns, and Chris Lindstrom and Caleb McGarry were 14th pick this year and 31st pick this year. So 5 first-round picks on the offensive line. That just goes to show you where they value their people. Their team didn't change a whole lot, aside from losing Tevin Coleman. Their team didn't change a whole lot, but they were like, look, we got Matt Ryan. We got a good thing in Matt Ryan. Let's keep him healthy. We got a weakness on this offensive line. They also addressed in the free agency. So it wasn't just in the draft. It was also in the free agency. They got depth as well. And so I think their offensive line is going to be one of the best. It's going to help their run game. It's definitely going to help Matt Ryan. I love Matt Ryan because of this offensive line.
You didn't like him a couple years ago.
No, I didn't. But he's proven 2 years in a row now, had 2 great years. He's got this offensive line. He's got weapons around him. He's got a really good running back. He's got a really good wide receiver. He's got a really good backup wide receiver. You know, a number 2 wide receiver in Calvin Ridley. He's currently going in the 6th round, middle of the 6th round. I'd take him there. I'd take Matt Ryan in the middle of the 6th round.
He's going that early?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was later as well, but he's going round 6, pick number 7.
Wow.
Devonta Freeman.
Your boy.
It was. Let
Whoa.
me explain something.
Whoa.
And his talent has not changed for me. Nothing has changed for me with Devonta Freeman, except for the fact that he is rising up all draft boards. He's going so high now that the value is starting to be gone. You're about to get him at draft, like at value. And I loved him so much because he was going in like the 4th round or beyond. His ADP right now is in the 3rd round, at the back half of the 3rd round. So that to me, you're getting him at value. And I'm not saying that he's going too high. I'm just saying my love for him has gone down because you were getting him in the 5th round.
So because he's not a steal pick, you don't like him?
No. Like I said, I still like him. I still like him.
But you don't love him.
He's still possible to end up on my team in the 3rd round. But okay. I don't love him like I used to.
Could you imagine like having Alvin Kamara, Mike Evans, then Devontae Freeman, and that's your starting core?
Yeah, and that can still happen. That can still happen right now.
Yeah.
So he's still got a little value in him, and as fast as he's risen up the draft board, I can see him still rising until maybe the beginning of the 3rd, end of the 2nd. Just because he's risen from the 5th round to the 3rd round in a month?
Yep.
Moving on a lot faster, Ito Smith, I don't have a whole lot to say about him. He's not a bad handcuff to a Devonta Freeman who has had injuries in the past. You're getting him in the 11th round. Julio Jones, my number 1 wide receiver. You're getting him in the second round, 3rd pick of the 2nd round.
Ooh,
monster!
Man.
Gotta take that.
Monster.
Yeah.
I would take Julio Jones in the 2nd round every time, 100% of the time.
I don't even care who I picked first.
Yep. Calvin Ridley's going in the 5th round, 7th pick of the 5th round. I like him there. He did a lot of really good things last year. He surprised a lot of people, I think. Mohamed Sanu, he's another one. He's going in the 14th round, 1st pick of the 14th round. That's another solid value pick right there. Justin Hardy's going undrafted. He's somebody you get for free. I wouldn't draft him. Maybe as a fill-in. Kind of watch him as the year goes. He's okay. He's not the greatest. Austin Hooper.
I don't think Justin Hardy would draft Justin Hardy.
Yeah. Only Justin Hardy would draft him. Austin Hooper is going in the 10th round, 7th pick of the 10th round. He's a good tight end, man. He's solid. He's somebody that you're not sweating starting him every week. Like, you can start him every week and you're like, all right, cool. I got Austin Hooper. You're not extremely excited about it, but you're not upset about it either. And that's all. That's really all I got. That offensive line is going to be very good this year. They're going to keep Matt Ryan healthy. He's going to throw the ball down the field. Matt Ryan's going to be in the top 3 of the quarterbacks this year. Julio Jones is going to be in the top 5 of receivers. Devonta Freeman, top 20. Nah, I got to go more.
Yeah.
He's top
Yeah,
12.
he's
He's
definitely-
top 12 material for me.
I like.
He's still
I-
top.
honestly, I can see if he stays healthy. I see it.
Yeah.
I see him in the top 10 if he stays healthy.
Yep.
Because I can see him being used more in the passing game. It's just, it all depends.
Yeah. So that wraps up the NFC North and the NFC South. And Dan is going on vacation next week. I'm out of town this weekend. I think in about a week and a half, we're going to get back together and we're going to do the NFC East and the NFC West. And that'll wrap. That's all that's left, Phil.
North, Southern.
What about the NFC Southwest?
Yeah,
The
dude.
Southwest, the
Yeah.
Southwest Rangers. So, and then that'll wrap up the NFC, and then we'll move on to the AFC and have all this done. Maybe throw in another Jeopardy one time. We got to do another mock draft sometime soon.
Ooh.
Definitely got to do a Facebook Live mock draft.
Yeah. So we will be coming at you. You know, we're gonna be picking the pace up here by the time August comes around. The end of July, August comes around. We're gonna be picking the pace up on these podcasts. So stay tuned. Remember, visit www.overtimefantasy.com. Everything is there. Our Twitter, our Instagram, our YouTube, our SoundCloud. Everything is there. Click on it. Go, like, subscribe. You know, share it. Let us know everything. Scroll down a little bit. Submit a question. If you have any type of question relating to fantasy football, relating to anything in the NFL,
Be sure
Send
to
it to
send
us.
us a 3-eyed raven.
send us a 3-eyed raven.
We'll answer the scrollers, no problem.
You could even say hi. God.
Yeah, just say hi. Yeah, just hit us up, say hi.
Just talk to us. We're people.
All right, so stay tuned. Coming in the near future, we're going to have some YouTube videos. Anywhere from 2 to 10 minute videos that we're going to be posting. So stay tuned. That's coming in the very near future. Anything else you guys have?
Dan?
Thank you for listening.
Yep, good job.